We're all waiting for news about the 5th episode of the Amazing Digital Circus at the moment. All of us are also all really looking forward to it. Even though we won't get the 5th episode in the next month, it will be out much sooner than 6 months from now. There has been a huge amount of interest on Tumblr related to this. Fans have started asking so many questions related to what the episode will be about. As we know, the protagonist in it will be Ragatha specifically. How is the baseball sporting event related to her? What will happen to Ragatha and how does Jax relate to it? Thanks to what Ragatha will reveal her secrets. The most interesting questions we will now with you and deal with in this video. There are so many questions about the changes that will occur in Ragatha's behavior. Let's start with her character. In all episodes up until the 4th, Ragatha was the friendliest, kindest, and most helpful of the strange cast of digital circus characters. She was always helping or trying to help anyone who was in trouble. In fact, Ragatha even tries to help those who are not in trouble. Her help seems less like an act of kindness, and more like an obsession with doing things that give the appearance of a good relationship. All difficult situations she endured with a smile on her face, but even then we noticed the preconditions for a change in her behavior and deterioration of our attitude towards her. Even in the pilot, we could notice oddities in Ragatha's behavior. When Ragatha and Pomni were talking about adventure, Ragatha said the rather disturbing thought that players need to play adventure to avoid thinking about the despair of their situation and going mad. When she and Pomni encountered the abstracted Kaufmo, Ragatha asked Pomni for help, but due to glitches, Pomni was objectively unable to help Ragatha. As a result, Pomni felt guilty, for Ragatha had unknowingly imposed guilt on her. Even though Ragatha apologized in the aftermath, it's already weird. Also in the 3rd episode, we were shown that while Pomni and Kinger were fighting the scary angel, Ragatha and the others were quietly drinking tea. But that's not what's notable here, it's the fact that Jax ended up tied up, and it certainly didn't happen by his own free will. At the beginning of the 4th episode, we could clearly see that Jax is the only character capable of pissing Ragatha off. I feel like Jax was talking too much. This infuriated Ragatha, and she tied him up with a rope. It was an attack of repressed aggression. It's been building up in Ragatha for a long time. In Tumblr, to one of the questions about how Ragatha fights her problems, Gooseworks replied that Ragatha fights stress in a very strange method, by internalizing. We can also remember Pomni's scary dream where Ragatha, along with Caine and Jax, laugh at her from above while Pomni falls. It's really weird. I mean, Jax is a bad guy and he doesn't hide it. He makes jokes about everyone, doesn't recognize personal boundaries. In addition, he has keys to all the characters' rooms. Caine is also not the kindest character, because what kind of reasoning about good and evil can there be when you have an artificial intelligence in front of you, which has not yet killed all the characters for one simple reason? He likes them. That's the only reason why he tries for their sake, inventing adventures, helping with abstract monsters and just trying to save them somehow. But this video isn't about Caine. Back to Ragatha. She hasn't shown herself to be much of a freak to get into the trio of scary shadows. However, we start to get to something in episode 4. Ragatha was behaving quite appropriately and as usual in the beginning, until the embarrassment of ordering a stupid burger. Ragatha accidentally spilled the dumb sauce on her eye, and it was as if she became intoxicated at that moment. After that, Ragatha began to behave in a manner completely inappropriate for a diner employee and the paragon of decency she had previously seemed to be. She started talking about some ranch, was lazy, and when someone would get in her way, Ragatha would insult them, like when 300 burgers had to be made and Zubul told her to do it. When Ragatha didn't say anything coherent and Zubul called Gangle, Ragatha only upset Gangle, even though her good girl image wouldn't let her do that. But as we know, drunk people are bad at hiding things. So the next episode will definitely reveal Ragatha's behavioral problems to us. However, we know even more than that. In the trailer of the new episodes, when Caine was showing Pomni his tweaks and selfies, we could notice a single unfinished location. It was a sports field. Also, as we know from episode 4, Ragatha knows how to play baseball. Since we saw that Jax can also play, he too will have an important role in the episode. However, the episode will be about Ragatha. But we know one of the answers for Gooseworks and Tumblr. The 5th and 6th episodes will show the development of Jax and Ragatha together. As a result, if we collate all the facts we have on our hands, I can offer you a script idea for a future 5th episode. At the beginning of the episode, when everyone gets together again, we will see a very usual and familiar scene. Jax will break Gangle's mask of comedy, but this time it will be so compromising for Jax that Ragatha will not stand aside as usual and will try to resent Jax's stupid ego. This scene will be very similar to the beginning of episode 4. Jax's wit won't save him this time, though, because Ragatha has so much heartache about how others just don't like her. Her stress will come out and she'll just explode with a loud tirade about trying to please everyone. I see the premise of this fight back in episode 4 when Ragatha was lying on the floor completely depressed. Jax walked by her, and instead of making a joke like he normally would have done, he simply advised her to go home. Ragatha, at this point in her drunken delirium, uttered a very interesting phrase that changed pretty much my entire attitude towards Ragatha.
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
This strange phrase turns Ragatha's attitude completely upside down. She's no longer just a kind girl with love for everyone. She is already a hateful sociopath with an exorbitant ambition, who wears a mask of kindness and reliability, wanting the love and acceptance of all the characters in the circus. After a fight with Jax, all her former friends will turn away from her, because what Ragatha will do and say to them will be very painful to listen to. Everyone will see that the very embodiment of kindness and helpfulness is just flattering you, and not even trying to understand how you feel. Ragatha will air her grievances with everyone, even Caine, and as I think this is what will erect a crazy and ambiguous artificial intelligence to reconcile the characters. This attempt will be expressed by an adventure in which Caine will include a sports game. She will have to make peace with Ragatha. It is likely that if Ragatha can play baseball, it will be him. However, my guess is that Ragatha won't be playing, and we will be shown a scene of her sitting in a corner and just tearfully watching the other characters playing a fun game in a friendly manner. After that, we are shown a reconciliation scene where first Pomni comes up to Ragatha with an embarrassed face and says that they must have been wrong to break off their companionship and friendship with Ragatha so unfairly. She will then say that Ragatha did wrong too, because she needs to realize that flattery doesn't always work. She should only say what she really thinks. Even Gangle, at the peak of her distress and depression, because it seemed to her that nobody needed her, decided not to talk to Ragatha, who positions herself in their society as a good friend, but to Pomni, who accidentally crossed paths with her while she was taking out the garbage. This happened because Ragatha is not trying to help you constructively, but only flattering you that everything is fine and you shouldn't worry. Therefore, in the beginning, it is better to listen to others and, if necessary, help the person. After all, friendship is not about flattery, but about honesty. Because of this, no one was really friends with Ragatha. However, one should somehow try to answer people honestly, but not too offensively, because going to extremes is not good. After this heartfelt speech, Ragatha will realize her mistakes and try to correct them. The other characters won't put up much of a fight, and I think Jax will even apologize, and afterward, they'll all play some fun, friendly game together. Caine will be happy with the outcome of this adventure and all will end well. What do you think about it? Will Ragatha fight with all the characters? Will Caine try to reconcile them? Write your theories in the comments. Remember that the best comments will make it to the new videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Good luck everyone, and bye-bye!